Welcome to Tuesday, May 6, 2025, your day weather podcast brought to you by ConverseCountyTourism.com. Feel the energy of Converse County. Explore Douglas's Railroad Heritage, Ayers Natural Bridge, and the Jackalope Legend. Glen Rockbow Scenic Trails, Dinosaur History, and Small Town Charm. Plan your visit at ConverseCountyTourism.com. Well, another great shot of the crabapple trees in full bloom across parts of the region. Well, they'll be in areas at least along and east of the divide in some soupy upslope conditions. An upper level low over the southern Rockies, a cold front coming down the east slopes of the Rockies will combine to produce upslope conditions that will dominate today, tonight, and through a good part of Wednesday. So if you're along and east of the Continental Divide, you're going to be in the soup. Low clouds. There'll be areas of fog, especially along the higher elevations of Interstate 80 between Laramie and Cheyenne, 287 Laramie to Fort Collins, and basically just if you're on the eastern side of the mountains, you're going to be in the soup. This will produce occasional rain, could have a little bit of thunder, and there will be high elevation snow over parts of the Rockies today, tonight, into tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind, especially the higher elevations of I-70 and Interstate 80 in the mountain passes. We have that nice warm up just in time for Mother's Day weekend. Temperatures will start to rebound as early as Thursday, but more noticeable between Friday through Sunday. But we're going to have some of this lower level moisture, higher humidity air kind of hang around a bit, enough of it, that afternoon and evening thunderstorms between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be a possibility in those warmer temperatures. Then another trough is going to enter the western United States around Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So we'll see what weather happens with that system. So the high pressure will be transitory. A few days around, then another low comes in. This is kind of a pattern. We get a big high pressure come in for a few days of really warm, sunny conditions. Then we have another trough come across the west. We'll see what happens with that system as we get towards the middle of next week. This is before all the weather came into the Bighorn Basin yesterday. Some virga for some high-level altocumulus clouds there in the Cody area. Beautiful shot there from the Route National Forest in northwest Colorado. And then some high cirrus wispy clouds in the Panhandle of Nebraska before the upslope started to come on in yesterday. And there's a little bit of that spring snow we talked about in eastern Idaho as the system came in yesterday. We did see some really good rain totals again for the areas that have been getting wet. It's really the rich get richer and the poor get poorer with these systems. There's another nice shot of moisture for central and northern Wyoming, southern Montana, eastern Idaho. Now, if you look real carefully there, it looks like a tornado. This is from the San Luis Valley area of Colorado where that upper level low is. You'll get these in the spring especially, sometimes in the fall, but when you get these deep low pressure systems and you get a cold, moist atmosphere and thunderstorms, you can have a sinking column of spinning air coming out of the base of the clouds. It looks a lot like a tornado. This is a classic cold air funnel there from south central Colorado yesterday. I don't have the normal satellite photos that are in higher resolution, but this does show very nicely the upper level low coming across the Four Corners, just east of the Four Corners region this morning. The brighter clouds showing where the higher level clouds are. The upper level low that came out of Montana yesterday is now coming back down to here, and this is kind of the clouds from the upper level low here that's dumbbelling down on into the backside of this system. And you can see the counterclockwise rotation from the upper low. We also have a surface boundary. This cold front has moved since this map was made a little bit. It's right along the Colorado-Wyoming border, and we'll go down the Front Range into Colorado Springs and Denver here through the morning hours. With the high building in, the colder, moist air here, the lower pressures across the southwestern United States, there's the upslope flow that's developing. And you can see the upslope really well here with the pressure gradient with the isobars you see here on the surface boundaries. Now, as we take a look at the 500 millibar this morning, you can see the upper level low that we saw very nicely on the satellite and the dumbbell low coming in behind it. So this is today. This is where it's going to be tomorrow. So the easterly flow, the counterclockwise rotation, you can see it very well here in the wind barbs. The air just circulating in an oval shape around the low like this. So upslope flow will be with us today, tonight, into the day on Wednesday. The main jet stream wind is up here. The upper level low, though, does fill and weaken as it heads eastward. But it will concentrate its focus of moisture basically in the same area. So if you look at the darker green, the blue here, where the precipitable waters are the highest, they just go back up against the front range. You can see the deeper moisture here. The anomaly is showing up so strongly in Arizona, a lot of the blue here, just because this time of year, this is a very moist air mass for Arizona this time of year. That's why the numbers are so high, and there still will be lingering shower and thunderstorm activity into those areas today. So the models, if you were to combine them, put them together, mix them up, and take an average, as we discussed yesterday, the big winners of the deepest moisture, the best rain, will be southern Colorado, New Mexico, the Panhandle, southwest Kansas. A super awesome, great rain for them. Really needed. That'll put them in really good shape here for the start of May. We do have right along the mountains and foothills here, you can see from the Laramie Peak area south along the Laramie Range into the Front Range of Colorado. As you get to the sloping terrain, this is a great example how the terrain will enhance rainfall. So as you get to the terrain, as it rises, you can see the rain output, at least the model scene is seeing more rain output than areas further east where you don't have the rising terrain so much. So this moisture that's forming on the north side of this low is basically just driven from terrain and moist air getting forced uphill. As you get closer to the upper low, there's a higher amount of lifting, vertical motion in the atmosphere, of lifting of the air, and that's why the rainfall is going to be so much more productive and so much more widespread closer to the upper level low. As we go forward for the rest of the week, by Thursday, the low does get pushed back up into the main jet stream here, gets stretched out and weakened, but there will be shower and thunderstorm activity, very spring-like weather here in the east. High pressure builds in, and we get more into a westerly flow here, but the westerly flow is fairly weak. That's why some residual moisture will be left behind. See, by Thursday, we still have a weak upslope gradient east of the divide, while warmer air tries to come in from the west. That's why Mother's Day weekend, with the high pressure ridge building in stronger, we'll still have a little bit of moisture here east of the divide. With the warmth coming, you get destabilizing atmosphere conditions from the heat of the day. So we're going to have a nice Mother's Day weekend, but we're also going to be looking at afternoon and evening thunderstorms. So Friday, there's your thunderstorm chances. Saturday, and then on Sunday for Mother's Day, the thunderstorms become a lot more widespread. This is your garden variety stuff. The thunderstorms on Sunday might get a little stronger. We'll need to keep an eye on that, but this is a typical springtime pattern. Then here's the next low. This is by next Wednesday. So it's kind of a repeating pattern here. We'll get this low coming in. We'll see whether or not it cuts off or goes north. I think it's 50-50. It could go either way. But we do have another frontal system and another opportunity for western weather next week. Have yourself a good Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.